While David was being taken through a sanctification process, he still wouldn't put his mouth on Saul, but he still felt emotional about what Saul was doing, right? And so we do feel the emotion, we do feel the pain of it, but also see the purpose behind it. Because when we're in people pleasing mode, but then we shift into purpose mode, there are people around us who don't like that mode. They don't. Either way, God showed me purpose in all of that. Imagine someone is upset because you're giddy because of God. Because of God. You know, God makes our joy full. He makes us joyful and makes our joy full and overflowing. And God showed me that same person in a dream where I was amongst an audience. He downloaded something into my spirit because he begins to show you who you really are spiritually. Many of us know our pain. Do you know your purpose though? When you look at Joseph, God had to remove Joseph from what was dysfunctional so that the dreams that were dormant at 17, he gave him a dream. Now he's removing him from dysfunction so that he can function. And where did he function? In prison. Make it make sense. He's functioning well now in prison. And so now he's bringing divine connections and people that are in need of him in a place where there is lack, in a place where there's isolation, so that those dreams can now awaken, so that Joseph can actually be reminded of who he actually is, that he's not the false accusation that you faced. He's not the gossip that's happening where people may gang up because they are co-signing and they're bleeding and bashing, and you feel the weight of the warfare. But that's not who you are, nor does God want you to even focus on what's happening in private, because he sees the private conversations. God began to show me in this dream the same person who accused me sitting on the front row. And I heard the Holy Spirit in the dream say, "It's so you lack nothing." So anybody that is number one coming at you, false accusation, gossip, they betrayed you, is to look, we need a Judas to get us closer to the cross. Anyone that has been placed in, right, in our journey is purposeful, actually. And so that person who was sitting amongst the audience, once I said, "It is so you lack nothing," do you know what they did in the dream? They stood up and said, "Yes." False accusation is the cure that God uses for external validation. So that way you focus on who he said you are instead of who they say you are. So you not only grow tired, but you decide that you're no longer going to internalize and focus on the people and no longer people please, but you're going to have faith and walk in the destiny that is already predestined for you to walk in, so that you can operate and function in your divine calling, because you are dangerously anointed. Share this with somebody.